So I read The Death of the West by Pat Buchanan, and this was rather interesting because I don't know what I think of Pat Buchanan. He's someone that I agree with on some things, like quite a bit. I agree he makes a lot of good points, and then on a few other things, like I disagree with him strongly. And this was also a book written in 2002, and you got to consider he's a conservative in 2002, in fact, a paleo-conservative, I believe. So as I'm going through the book, he does devote considerable amount of time to complaining about how awful homosexuality is and how awful it is that it's being accepted in society, or that people are trying to get it accepted in society. So in that regard, it's a book from 2002. I don't know what he believes now. I really don't care. I'm just talking about this book. So when you read this book, just keep that in mind, that you're going to get a lot of that stuff, and I think it's something that's something I strongly disagree with him on. However, he does make a rather interesting point about, like, again, the death of the West. And this is a book that he is more conservative than I am. I consider myself, I guess, more of a conservatarian. I agree with the free market, like, American conservative sense, but not so much with, like, the I guess, the Buchananite type of conservatism. But he makes a lot of valid points that I had to struggle with, that I had to really think about. This is a very politically incorrect book. This is something that, if you don't agree with Pat Buchanan on much, or if you've never heard of him before, you'll really have to struggle to process through this book. It's got a lot of what I would consider some uncomfortable truths that I can't really debunk. I can't really refute. And for that reason, it's something that I would say is worth reading in that respect. Now, I am aware there's a book called The Strange Death of Europe by Douglas Murray, which takes a sort of different approach and is more it's a relatively newer book. So for that reason, that might be something worth reading as well. I haven't read that yet, but it's on my list. But this book, he brings up the population changes. He brings up how he actually makes a lot of good points that for 2002 is incredible. That I have to keep reminding myself that this book came out in 2002 and does talk a lot about the social justice warrior stuff, but not necessarily in that term. He predicts a lot of problems. He predicts a lot of issues that we are facing now. That is big. That's the big thing in the news now. The big clash between Trump and Hillary. The big clash between the left and the right currently. He talks about this stuff in 2002. So, in that sense, he is certainly, I guess, ahead of his time then. He predicted this stuff. And in fact, I remember reading The Blank Slate by what's his name? Steven Pinker. And he made a lot of the same points. A lot of the same, left versus right points of political correctness that we're facing today. But he did it back in 2005. So to see Pat Buchanan make this back in 2002, I would say is an achievement. But he does take an approach of just, it's rather politically incorrect, and it's stuff that I would consider uncomfortable truths, but it's something we have to accept, and I think I do accept it. It's something that you can't really refute. But in that sense, I would say it's worth reading. It's very politically incorrect. He does, again, complain about how awful homosexuality is a few times, but granted, that was 2002. So, but I do overall recommend it. It's just something, a warning going in. You'll find this book will challenge you, and it certainly challenged me, but let me know what you think in the comments section if you have read it. Like the video if you enjoy. Subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.